For this practice today, you need your yoga mat, comfortable clothes, and if you like to use yoga blocks, you can have those near your side. We'll start our practice today by coming down into a child's pose. Bring your big toes to touch, your knees open nice and wide, and let's begin our 15-minute yoga practice. Walk your hands down as far as you can go out in front of you, and bring your forehead down to the earth. Just start by breathing out through the mouth a few times. You may have just awoke, or maybe you found 15 minutes in the middle of your day to practice, or perhaps before you go to bed at night. Let your sit bones get heavy on your heels. Press down through your hands and start to walk your fingers a little further forwards. Press into each fingertip, feeling the earth beneath you. Try to lift your elbows off the ground and the forearms. And now start to breathe in and out through the nose. Breathe into the spaces that are tight. Take a breath and notice it under the armpits and filling between the ribs down into the low back. Walk your hands over to the left. You can lift your head and gaze at your fingers. Gentle steps. Your hand might not come off the mat all the way, so see how far your body allows you to go. Place the right hand down on the ground and the left hand on top. Let the forehead touch the earth if you can. Now breathe into the right side of the body, especially the low back space. Feel the breath wrapping to the side of the body. Starting to stretch the QL muscle. It's a rectangular muscle that sits on each side of the spine. You can walk your hands now to the opposite direction as you lift your head. Gentle steps across the mat. Left hand roots down, right hand presses down and forwards. If the forehead doesn't touch the ground, you can always place the block underneath the forehead. You may notice one side is much tighter than the other. Try not to judge the body. Stay focused and in tune with your breath. You can walk your hands back to the middle of the mat. And from here, rise up onto the fingers. As you bring the knees under the hips, tuck the toes under, draw the navel in. So at times that low back space starts to overcompensate for the weak core muscles. So start to lengthen the right arm forwards and the left leg back, keeping the sacrum nice and level. If you feel like you're balanced and strong enough today, then lift the arm and the leg upwards. Notice the chin, draw it down, take 3 steady breaths. On the exhale, lengthen out in both directions. Try to keep the left shoulder away from the ear. So if you feel it slipping, draw the shoulder blade down the back. One more breath. Keeping in mind the core muscles aren't just the belly muscles, right? All the muscles that line the back, release the hand down, are included in the core muscles. Left arm forwards, right leg back, and begin to lift. Draw the navel in. Just go as high as you're able to go with your steady breath. So just creating a little strength here and warmth in those muscles before we get into stretching. Feeling good is not only about flexibility and stretching, but also creating strength and stability as you step into your day. Release the arm down and the leg down, and walk your hands a little further out in front of you. You can always come into child's pose again if you need to. We'll lift the sitting bones, and as you come into downward facing dog, pedal the heels out a bit, one and then the other. Just feeling the calves and the legs and notice what's going on. You can take the feet a little bit wider, and we're going to sway the heels over to the right side. And as you do that, try to push a little bit further down into the left hand so that the left shoulder presses back and you get space from the hip to the armpit. And we'll move to the other side. So you can take a couple of breaths there as you hold it. Maybe one more time on each side. So the heels roll over to the right side and over to the left side. And come back to center. Rise up onto your toes, look at your hands, walk your feet up to the top of the mat. Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen the neck. Exhale and fold, use the blocks. You may just be waking up and the legs may feel tight. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's come all the way to stand, breathe in. And thumbs to the heart space, exhale, close the eyes and set yourself an intention for your practice. Remind yourself that you are enough. We wear different masks as we move through our day. Sometimes a parent, sometimes a friend, sometimes an employee, whatever it might be, you are enough. Take another deep breath in and breathe out through the mouth. Let the eyes open, release the hands, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms reach up, a little back bend, exhale and fold. Inhale, half lift, and you can step the left foot back, keep the knee lifted off the ground, press the hands into the blocks or the floor, take a moment for your right hip to open up, and then exhale, curl the toes back on the right foot, straighten the leg and fold forwards. So we're going to inhale into the lunge and exhale into the forward fold. Modified pyramid pose. One more time, breathe in and pull your right hip crease back as the back heel stays nice and high. Return back into your lunge pose. Lower down onto your back knee. You can walk your hands with your blocks. Your right foot will come out to the side. We'll come into gate pose. Hands come up onto the hips. Slide the right hand down the right leg. Turn the left palm to face up and reach up and over the top. You can always gaze down if you find that it's too much for your neck, or slide your hand behind the head. Lean the head back. Take a breath. Remember that last time you laid in a hammock, the ease that you felt, the tranquility. Infuse those tight muscles with that feeling of peace and calm, tranquility and ease. One more breath. Inhale, rise up. Your hands can come down onto the mat. Step the right foot back, and we'll move right to downward facing dog. 3 breaths in your down dog. A little bend in the knees. Tip the pelvis forwards. Can you breathe down into your low back? Focusing on that area today. That muscle, the QL, the Quadratus Lomborum, connects into the pelvis and into the 12th rib. Take a breath in. Look at your fingers. Little steps up to the top of the mat. Half lift, breathe in. Exhale, fold inwards. You are enough. Inhale, come all the way up. Squeeze those glutes each time you come up. Exhale, fold right back down. Get your blocks if you need them. Rise up halfway. Right foot steps back for lunge. Walk it a little further back. Let your left hip settle down. Try to get the hip right in line with your knee. Lift your right hip up a bit. Now we start to fold forward. Straighten your front leg. Curl your toes back. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, forward fold. One more time. Breathe in. Go with the flow of the breath. Breathe out. Return to your lunge. Set the right knee down on the ground. Slide your left foot out to the side. Find your balance, hands to the hips into gate pose. Slide the left hand down the leg, right arm out to the side, reach it up and over the top. Bring the hand behind the head and lean back. Trust yourself here. Notice how this side feels. You pay close attention to your body. You might feel that this side is more spacious or tighter. And then you can start to examine what's going on in your day. Do you always carry your child or your bag on one side? Do you lean on one side when you stand or sit? Find that balance. Inhale, come up. Release the hands down onto the blocks and then onto the floor. Left foot steps back, lift up, downward facing dog. Little bend in the knees. Push down and forwards. Long breath out through the mouth. Let go. You are enough. Rise up on the toes. Walk forwards. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Tighten up those glutes now as you stand up. Find support for the back. And bring the hands back to the heart space. Inhale, float the arms out and up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Step the left foot back behind you. And your hands will come on the inside of your right foot. As you go from here, you can either come down onto your left knee for modification and kick your left foot out to the side and start to walk your right foot out to the side for a modified side plank pose. Otherwise, you can keep your bottom leg lifted, back knee off the ground, walk your right foot all the way back to the center of your mat so your right ankle is under your right knee. Roll onto the pinky toe edge side of your left foot, bring the right hand to the hip, and on the exhalation you can lower down towards the ground, staying here, creating a stretch on the left side of the body. You can tip your right ear towards your right shoulder. You only go as low as that left side body is telling you to go. Inhale, come back up. Walk your right foot back into the back of the mat for downward facing dog. Lift your right foot back and up. Knee towards the nose, foot comes down between the hands. We'll come into warrior two. Inhale and rise. You are enough. Take a breath in, gaze forwards. Straighten your front leg, move into reverse warrior. Remember to look down if you need to. Can you feel any tight spaces on the right side of the body? Pull the belly in to come back to center. Return into warrior two. Move the shoulders away from the ears. So really working on opening up your right hip here. Squeeze your left glute. Push your right knee out towards your pinky toe. If you gaze down, you can see your big toe. And feel your right sitting bone reaching towards your right heel. Now we'll get back into the left side of the body by moving into side angle pose. Your forearm, right side can come onto the leg. Get heavy. Let yourself rest there for a moment so you can feel how much your legs are working. Bring the left hand to the hip and begin to use your legs now. Press your feet down. Take a little weight off your forearm. Feel lightness in the upper body. Press your left inner thigh back and maybe stretch the left arm forwards. Keep it right in line with your ear, perhaps turning the gaze outwards. You can take your right hand and bring it down on the inside of the foot using the block or the ground. Try to keep to the side of the body nice and long so the ribs aren't pushing out. Draw them in just a little bit. You can bring the elbow back, breathe into the body, and then exhale, stretch the arm out straight. One more time, breathe in. And press it out, breathe out. Come back into plank pose. Left hand comes down, right foot steps back into plank. We'll lower for chaturanga here. Keep the knees lifted if that's available. If you watched one of my last videos, I showed you how to place the blocks underneath your shoulders. Turn the toes and come up into up dog. And we press back, downward facing dog. Breathe out through the mouth. You are enough. We're always trying to be more and do more, get more into the day. Try to look at all the accomplishments that you have done instead of what you haven't done. Rise up onto the toes, look forwards, walk your feet up. Inhale, rise up halfway. And fold, exhale. Come all the way up. Return the hands to the heart. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale and fold. Maybe you do this 15-minute practice in the morning, and perhaps you have another 15 minutes at the end of the day to do a restorative practice or another gentle flow. The right foot will step back, and we come into our modified side plank position. So bring the left hand on the inside of the foot, walk your left foot back. You can see how I just toe heel it back. And if from there you find it's too much, set your right knee down on the ground. You can kickstand it out to the side and come into a modified side plank pose. Or lift the right knee off the ground, roll your right heels to the right, and lift the left hand up to the sky. You can even keep it down onto the hip. Then from there, we're going to drop down. We're lowering the hip towards the ground. You may only go halfway. It might not touch down. It's okay. Move the left ear away from the left shoulder. Nice stretch between the ribs. You can really feel where the muscles attach on to those ribs. And then inhale, come up. Place the left hand down, walk it back to down dog. Take a breath in. You can lift the left leg back and up. And we'll move towards warrior two. Left foot comes down, turn the back foot out, and rise up with a smile, ease, and tranquility. Find your balance and your strength here. So turn your leg muscles on. Feel your back kneecap lifting. The right glute squeezing. Let's straighten our front leg, release the hand onto the thigh. Right hand reaches down, left arm reaches up. You can always take the hand behind the head again. Depending on how tight your muscles are, you may feel the stretch beyond the side of the body. You may feel it down into the top of the IT band. One more breath. Moving into Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. Get heavy on your forearm. Let yourself rest for a minute. Then bring your hand to your hip. Engage the legs. Turn the chest out to the right. If you want to go a little deeper, use the block to begin on any of the heights. Press your right inner thigh back and reach the arm forwards. Turn the gaze out. Inhale, draw the elbow back, draw the shoulder blade together, breathe in and breathe out. Inhale. What a nice stretch for that low back, the Quadratus Lomborum. One more time. You may feel it right in this section here, this rectangular space. And release, right hand comes down to the ground. We'll take our plank pose, left foot back, and set your knees down if you'd like for chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Let go. You are enough. We often don't tell ourselves that enough as we move quickly through the day, as we turn our body and muscles and bones in so many directions, including our mind. Can lower into child's pose, knees big and wide, toes to touch. Bring the hands under the forehead to rest. Feel the ground holding you now. Let go. Let yourself roll up slowly. Maybe roll the shoulders up and down the back. And you can roll onto your back. As you come down onto your back, set the feet on the ground. Bring the knees into the chest. Hug the knees in and move them away from each other for a minute and back together. And the opposite way, away from each other and back together. Set your feet on the mat. Take your arms into a cactus position. Take your feet as wide as your mat, a couple of windshield wiping movements in each direction. And now it's time for you to give yourself at least 2 minutes to rest. Stretch the legs out. Turn the palms to face up so that all the new energy can settle into your body for your day or wherever you are in your day. And start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. If you have time, I'll link a longer Shavasana right here for you. Feel how you're moving in first gear. Challenge yourself to stay in first gear for a little while longer as you leave your mat. Reach your arms over your head. Take a big breath in. It's a new beginning. Roll onto your side. One last time. You can come to your intention. You are enough. You are doing your very best. Use your hands, push yourself up. As you come into an easy seat, bring your hands onto the knees or thighs. Let your hands come in front of the heart space. You can set yourself a mantra for the day. Perhaps when you feel your body tensing up or you notice that you're becoming stressed, you can repeat that mantra to yourself. It could be, I am enough. Find your peace. Find your calm. You are enough. Let's bow our heads to each other, to all beings near and far, wishing you love, light, and happiness. Namaste. We all have challenging moments in our day. The best thing you can do is become aware of when they're happening so you can teach your body to not move incorrectly. You can soften into that uncomfortable moment and find ease and tranquility as you maneuver through it. Namaste. If you enjoyed the practice, please show your love and press the like button or the subscribe button, and you can catch all my videos that come out twice a week.